Hello. Today is Thursday of the sixth week of Easter. And in today's gospel, I'm glad I typically record these earlier in the week. And this week we had the golf outing, which supports youth ministry. So I was kind of focused on that, and so I'm doing this on Wednesday evening, and had I done it earlier, I wouldn't be thinking of the story that I am, because it just happened. I'm thinking of this evening. My wife and I took the kids to Wells Fargo, where the Flyers play. They had like an open skate for families, and an effort to get people to get seasons tickets, but it was, you could go and just do it, and I didn't even really understand that there was a sales pitch involved, so it was more than skating. It was, there was pictures with Gritty, the team mascot, and there was a dinner, and it's a whole big ordeal. There was ice cream sundaes and brownies and cookies and all kinds of stuff that the boys would be excited about. And and there's that, it wasn't what I was necessarily expecting. It was a lot more, and I just kind of, you can roll with those things as an adult, but they're, in the mind of a 9-year-old or a 7-year-old or even a 4-year-old, that there's, when things aren't what you were expecting, you can completely lose sight of all the things that you're about to go do, or even if it's something that's good, you can just be miserable. And I think of that tonight when I read our gospel. A little while, and you will no longer see me, and again a little while later, and you will see me. And it's kind of an odd comparison, but I think of my oldest son. I think of Vincent standing in line to get his picture taken with Gritty, despite the fact that it's the last thing in the world he wants to do. He wants to go right to the open skate and get his ice skates on and go out, and the others want their picture, and he's miserable. He's absolutely miserable. But I, as his dad, can stand there and try to be patient, but get frustrated that, like, I know what's next. I know you just have to be patient, and beyond this is the thing you want, but you're getting so worked up. You're destroying your night. You're kind of ruining mine and your brother. And then we get to the thing, and whether or not he's excited or if he's been so distraught, but and I think of those times in my life, those times where I was, where things happened, where life was just especially challenging, and there was a loss or just something kind of painful that wasn't the fault of anyone, but it was something I called to kind of endure and walk through. And and I wish I could say, like, I was close to my faith in every time that's happened, and felt like I was protected and carried, but I know there's times where that was not my experience. I know there were times where I couldn't wrap my head around why something was happening. I couldn't wrap my head around the idea of a God that was allowing any of this to happen, and where I just felt alone. But in those moments, and I heard a student recently give a reflection on this very idea. That they talked about the idea that they're still not at a place now where their faith journey is such that they really understand why God is allowing something, and they're not even really sure if they necessarily believe in God, but they talked about the idea that they admired. There are people who have had such a profound experience of God in their lives that have made it so attractive that for now they're just going to show up and kind of go through the motions, and not in a meaningful way, and I think there are times where that's very much where I've been, where I just say, you know what, I have gone through this kind of experience before, and I know that on the other end, I'm going to look back and I'm going to see where my faith was. And if I can't see it right now, that's okay. It's okay to go through the motions, and it's okay to express my frustration in prayer. I think the God of my understanding is big enough to handle it. But I also trust that as it says in the gospel, in a little while you'll no longer see me. I know that, and again a little while later, and you will see me. I know that no matter what life has in store, whether it's a global pandemic, a personal loss, whatever it may be, I know that I'll walk through it, and if I hold, close to my faith as an active prayer, and I go through the motions, not in an unfortunate way. I feel like a lot of times we hear that expression as a negative thing. And what I mean is I stay disciplined in my prayer. I know that on the other end, my experience tells me that I'll look back and have a better understanding of where my faith has been all along. So I think we are called to consider that in our lives today. I am grateful to have the opportunity tonight to come here and process my day earlier a little bit, and as always to consider our faith, our Catholic faith, and what it calls us to, and what it calls me personally to. So I hope you are all well, safe, and I will hopefully see many of you soon. All right.